Good evening. My name is Carolyn Rufford, and this will be for my final exam with Dr. Pittman. And first, I would like to say thank you for being a consistent and proficient professor. And I have learned and enjoyed quite a bit from your class. I will start now with chapters 22 through 24 that we had to do in our reading. And one of the first topics was women. I'm going to start off with some statistics. And the number of women in the U.S. is 1,630 163,433,400 female in the U.S. And I hope I got that number right. I tell you, that's a pretty big number. Okay. Out of that number, 60% are white women, 18% are Latinos, 12.9% are black, 5% are Asian American, 0.7% are American Indian or American Native, 0.2% are American Hawaii. And out of all of that, we are still made up of so many different um, colors and strengths and weaknesses. In our, we also, well, in the reading, it also talked about Kamala Harris when she was nominated for VP in 2020. That was such a big accomplishment for women. Um, I know now that she's running for president in 2025. That is also a big accomplishment. And of course, it has been brought up about her and then about her background, about her race, that has been brought in question. But nevertheless, she is a woman. She is a leader and she is highly educated. And not to get into politics, but I think she is and would be a great president. Some of the things that we as women deal with, um, we deal with sexism, and a lot of that sometimes in the workplace. Um, when we're for promotion or something like that, sexual harassment comes into play where, okay, if you don't do this for me, I won't give you this, or you can't go no further in the job unless you do this favor for me or have dinner with me or come by my house or something like that. um, that has happened and has been happening for years, and so that has been also um, one of the bad things or just discrimination parts that things happen to women. Another thing I noticed, and also that I read and know about, we even have discriminations in our within our own race with young girls. And it was like if you're dark skinned or light skinned, the dark skinned girls thought not they were ugly, and the lighter skinned girls thought they were pretty. And I thought that was the strangest thing because I never, thank God, never experienced that and never went through that, But I saw this special on Oprah, and she had all these girls, and they were dark, and they were stating that, they didn't fit in, and they were so dark. Some of them were in the tub trying to scrub the black off, trying to be lighter like their lighter friends to be light skinned. And so all of that hinders our self-worth. Our self-esteem goes down. Um, and that's not good for anyone, even just for a young person or even an adult, to go through that type of discrimination at such a young age. And also, another thing as women that we go through is domestic violence. I had mentioned once before that I was a survivor of domestic violence. Um, my kid's father was very physically, emotionally, spiritually abusive. After going back several times, and statistic wise, they say a person goes back 6 or 7 times before they actually leave, and that's pretty much about correct. I think I got up to about 6 or 7 times, and then I finally decided to leave for good. And thank God that I do have my life and that I'm still here, clothed in my right mind. But a lot of women do suffer with that. I volunteered at a um, shelter for battered women here in Killeen, Texas, for a while, just to be on the different side, not being a client there, but being someone behind the desk that actually dealt with people like myself when they come in, um, just to get a different perspective and deal with the women. Secondly, I also wanted to talk about the lasting effects of that type of abuse. Some people have chronic headaches, pelvic pains, and other physical issues. And like again, I said, I'm just thankful because I jumped out of cars. I was hit in the head, bleeding from my head. Um, and just so many things. Arm was dislocated. And so I'm just so thankful, and only by the grace of God, that I am here today and able to share. And that's why I think that, well, I know that my gift is helping women and women in different situations to adapt. But getting back to our topic, another thing that we as women deal with and go through on a regular basis is this ideal, quote, ideal body type for a woman. A lot of the models, oh, you got to be thin, oh, you have to be this size, a size 7, a size 5. And if you're not that size, then you're not accepted by today's society. And that is so not true. Um, you have to believe in yourself. You have to have self worth. And you don't have to be like anybody else. God made us all unique. We're all unique in our own particular way, whether we're short, tall, large, petite, or whatever that may be. We all have our own body style and body shape. And we don't have to be like the models. We don't have to go out and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to get the Brazilian body wax, or like Lil Kim, or get our lips inflated, or get tummy tucks and things of that nature. We don't have to do that. Um, Also, women are also sometimes, after dealing with so much and going through so much, we sometimes get, and not sometimes, a lot of times, I'll say like 80 or 90% of the time, um, we get this role overload because we're doing so many things in the home. It's coming from doing working. It's coming from taking care of the kids when they get home. It's coming from doing homework. It's coming from helping them with their homework. It's just a whole lot that women do. Um, we do on a regular basis. And even though we may be married, they were saying that like well, 3 times out of 5, the woman would step up, even though the husband would help. the woman would be more quicker, to do and to try to get things done. And I do believe that to be true as well. And along with that, 70% of women suffer with depression. They have um, breakdowns because of so many things that they're carrying. And that's why I think that women are so, so special. And God has made us that way. And let me move on to poverty. That is so in this world, and I know that God stated that the poor will be with us always. There's so many reasons why we still have the poor among us, and it stems from education. It stems from job discrimination, education discrimination. Because if you don't get a good education, then you can't get a good job. And if you don't get a good job, then you're prone to get involved in the legal system, and then you're prone to go to jail. So all of that winds up with you're not being able to provide and not having to um, have monies to continue the lifestyle, either to support yourself or your family. So poverty is always there. Um, and it depends on you and your relationship with God. It depends on you if you have support to be there for, if you have support to help you to find the resources that are needed so that you can find work, so that you can go to school or take classes to better yourself and get skills that are needed. Secondly, healthcare. Healthcare is another thing that a lot of our people in poverty suffer with, because if you don't, even though healthcare a lot of times is free, we have disparities in that as well. So it might say free, but it's not always free because of the discrimination that goes with it. Lastly, disabilities. People with disabilities, we have to make sure that when we're counseling them or counselors, that they have access to offices like wheelchair assistance, they have the ramps and everything like that, that they're able to get to the office safely, and bathroom ramps and things of that nature. Also, we have to make sure that we have to talk to them, ask them what their preferences are. Do you prefer an interpreter? Do you want somebody in the room with us when we're doing our sessions? Anything that would help them to feel comfortable. We have to do that because we cannot be prejudiced or biased towards anyone. And also, communication is a very plus in that as well. Um, and one more thing I want to add, I know I'm getting a little bit lengthy and I'm cutting it close to our deadline. Um, one of the biggest, one of the biggest deceptions of the devil is to have us believe that he does not exist, but he does. So we have to trust God. We have to trust God in everything we do and say. We have to trust God. And I'm just thankful that he shows us mercy every single day of our lives, and that we continue to believe in him, and that we continue to model our lives according to his will. So thank you again, Dr. Pittman, for all your help, your concern, and your understanding. You have an awesome day. Thank you.